Thanks for joining me today. Today I got vocalist, front person. I don't like to say front woman or front man because by this day and age, we're kind of past that. Kobra Paige from the band Kobra and the Lotus. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
I just saw you for the first time today. I had been introduced to your music a little bit beforehand. I kind of knew that it was going to be a good show just by your sound, but I mean, you really won over the crowd.
Thank you.
Especially since you've never been in this sound before.
Yeah, no, we haven't. And I think a lot of people were surprised because it was sold out quite quickly into the beginning of the tour. Possibly even before, I don't remember, but we were a new addition when it was already almost at capacity. So a lot of people probably didn't know what they were in for tonight. Yeah, and I think that we are truly a live band.
Oh yeah, it showed tonight. Everybody was, because I was talking to friends. They're like, I was like, have you heard them? Because I had to listen to your music. They're like, a lot of people didn't. But of course, you did have some fans that already know you. They were ready, going crazy, singing along to your songs, which is for an artist that's going to feel pretty special and pretty great when somebody's singing back to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's like remarkable almost, because it's like, wow, something that we created connected that way to another person, and that's how connected we are. And I think that's never going to get old. Just realizing that power of connection.
Right. So, like you mentioned, you've been on the Sebastian Bach tour. Did you join them very early on with the whole tour?
From the very start.
Okay. And y'all are almost done. Y'all got about a week left.
Yeah, 5 dates in total, actually.
Yeah. So, how have you enjoyed this tour? Has it been a little bit differently because of who you toured with? I mean, this guy's been around for 30 years.
Absolutely. Honestly, on a personal level, with just enjoying the audiences and the band that we're on tour with, this is probably in my top 3. We have a long list of bands, and I've just enjoyed it so much, and I really feel like finally too our music clicked like better than ever with the people that we were playing for, and it's also because we have this new record that has more of that hard rock edge that I think is really working for people here, and that's just been a wonderful feeling that I think has been missing sometimes throughout our years, of touring history. So this has been such a pleasure, this tour.
That's awesome. Yeah. And just like you mentioned, Evolution came out in September.
September 20th.
Yeah, so the reaction from everybody has been very positive. Looking at YouTube streams, I mean, you got stuff in the 100,000s, over 1 million. So everybody's really enjoying it. So when you come in writing a new album, do you ever have any fears of, how you think the fans may react? Or do you come in, we're writing for ourselves, and then people will enjoy it too?
Definitely the latter. I think probably over the process of like the last couple albums, which was that double album body of work we did, Prevail 1 and 2,
yes.
I really realized like how important it was to make sure you were creating for yourself first and foremost, and that we had to really be proud of, we had to believe that the bar had been hit, or that we went for the bar that we set as at full capacity, that we reached for it as high as we could. And I think it's important, because otherwise, like, you'll be trying to please people that you don't even know if you please them. Like, you can never know what the world's going to decide. There's always going to be people that aren't happy or don't enjoy what you put out. There's always going to be people that love something that you put out. And I think it, like, only hinders you to, like, try to write for something else or some other,
It would almost seem you're kind of faking it in a sense, to where you're not really enjoying it.
Which I think can also, like, keep your true empowering creativity, like, stifled a bit.
Right.
And also, I couldn't imagine, like, not writing, like, for myself or collaborating with people with that intention in mind, because otherwise, why would you put all the hard work in? Why would you do what you do? You'd have to be out of your mind.
Yeah, of course. We did all this for years, and now we're like, we really don't want to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You gotta love it.
I saw it from a previous interview that with this album, you did all the writing in the studio.
Yes.
Do you feel that impacted the album a little bit better, as opposed to maybe coming in with some demos?
Yeah, so, you know, we've done blends of things in the past, like High Priestess, our third record, and self-titled actually was a little bit of blending of in-studio writing mixed with demos coming in. And then Prevail 1 and 2 were like 70-80% written in the studio. And after that experience, I thought, yeah, like I love the pressure personally as well, and knowing that we're going to be focused on this vision, like in this space together. I love that it pushes buttons. I think that a lot of things bubble to the surface that were there to be expressed, but really like come to fruition.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty intense. I mean, if I had to express the experience that it was like in the studio, I'd say it was more intense than fun actually for us, you know.
Right.
And I don't know what it was like for the guys, but I know that everyone had, you know, some difficult times with themselves, and also had moments of like breakthroughs where we were like, this, like, we really made something that we all really are proud of right now, you know? And this is going to be awesome. And yeah, I wouldn't do it any other way. I love to collaborate in person.
That's good. That's good. Because I've heard other bands are like, well, I'll record this and then I'll send it to so-and-so wherever, and then we'll just work back and forth. And
whatever works for them, you know?
Yeah.
But I have to say I'm a people person that way.
Yeah.
I really find there are magic sparks that get captured that you maybe would have lost in time, you know?
Right. Now, for being in a band or your band for 11 years, 6 albums now, that's a good track to stay on. How do you still keep inspired to try to keep it fresh?
I mean, honestly, I think this project had a lot of growing still to do, and Evolution was really like one of those pinnacle moments where we reached a point where it was like, okay, all the tours and experiences and challenges and everything have taught us a lot of lessons to really focus down and put this album out. And now I think that this record, like, it made some kind of defining moment for the band. I really feel that, like, to my core. So a lot of it was just the fact that I think the band still had a lot of growing to do. And, I think you can always grow. There's always room for that. I think it's an exciting challenge to keep things fresh. I don't really want us to make albums that sound like just like the last one, or like a song that's on the next song, but a record, but like one chord got changed and it's the same song essentially with different words.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
Which is okay, that actually works. But we haven't done that. We don't do that, you know. So it's also one of those things, like, from a lyrical perspective, I know the guys are full of creativity. Like, they love to create, a lot of them, the guitar players especially, and it's endless, their expression, like, when they want to make things. And for me, as a lyricist and top line writer, you could say, I just find that because my life is going to be an endless journey until my back hurts, and that's what it's all about. I feel like I have just so much to talk about. Yeah. Awesome.
Talking about long life or being a successful musician, it's hard for a lot of bands, especially now with the industry, how stuff is not really driven by album sales and such.
Yeah.
It's all internet, so it's a lot harder for bands to break out. For your band, how do you feel that you were what's contributed the most to your success at this time?
Honestly, I wish I could give you like an answer to that, but I don't know what it is, because we have not reached even close to the place where we need to be, to keep this going. And it's just a sad reality of how it is now in the industry. Like, if you get stuck under that certain level where you can't break over, it just becomes like you're just like one step ahead of your grave all the time.
Right. That's
how I feel all the time, and I find it hard to not take away from them the experiences I'm having in the present, because I'm always thinking, like, is this the last time? Or like, you can really like tank yourself if you don't pull yourself out of that. Just enjoy what's happening. So I don't know. I honestly would love to hear someone else that is in the same place as us, which there's several bands that are in the same place where from the outside it looks a lot bigger than it is, and in the background it's like you're rowing up a river.
Yeah.
And I would just love to hear also some advice from the same question being answered, how do bands do it these days, because I don't really know anymore.
Yeah.
Unless you're trending or you have a gimmick, or I think certain things are trending. I think the growling is a lot more trendy right now. We're in a really high time for that.
Yeah.
Clean vocals are kind of falling to the wayside a bit, a little bit to up and coming growling, and that's okay. That's just the ebbs and flows of life. But I don't know how to stay keep this afloat, So it's it's a challenging and very bizarre time, I think, for music.
Yeah.
And I think social media has also really introduced a very new and bizarre way of operating and feeding into what we are attracted to in our egos, So I don't know.
Yeah, but I guess it kind of also goes back to what you're saying, kind of being true to how you write your music, to where the fans that enjoy your music are going to congregate to your music regardless of what's happening in
Absolutely.
the trends.
And people are always going to, there's going to be someone that connects, and I'm so grateful for the people that do. They are the people that, when they tell me their stories and how the music, some part of our music impacted them in a positive way, that's honestly what keeps the fire going to fight on in this. I have endless passion for caring about people and what music does, in a global scale.
Mm-hmm.
That being us, as one drop in the ocean of the music that exists for people. So that that fuels me intensely. It's always been probably my primary purpose behind music. It's never been for anything else. It's not because I loved playing shows. It's not because this, that. It was always because I thought it was incredible how people were moved by music, and that it could be a positive force.
Right.
And
even for some people, it's not even life-saving.
Absolutely, I think it is one of the safest and greatest tools for people. Yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty amazing. Especially, it's got to be feel surreal for if somebody comes to you and you're like, your song, this song or these lyrics have moved me. I have it tattooed on me.
It is. It's incredibly humbling, and it always it's always, to me, I'm always just wow, we're so lucky to be a part of that with you.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, your set today was about an hour.
Yeah.
You having six
Which
albums.
is crazy, actually, because we started with half an hour. That's
really?
That's what our contract says for this tour.
Oh, really?
And they've been slowly extending it. So
but that's good though.
It was awesome. Yeah. So after about a month, it moved to 40, then 45 minutes, and we were down for that because 30 minutes is you can do it, but it's really hard to show people what you're all about.
Yes.
It really, 30 to 45 minutes is a huge psychological difference for people. And I was so happy about it. And tonight they had us play another one. So tonight was the longest set I think that we've played yet on this tour.
So we got the treat. We got the special treatment.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Having the 6 albums, do you find it difficult to try to what you're going to put on the set list, or you try to rotate it per show?
Yeah. Actually, I just got asked this, and it's a good question. Honestly, this set list is really focused on pushing our new album and exposing people to that new material. As well, I think that this audience base with Sebastian Bach, it's very fitting for this kind of crowd. So we really built the set around the new stuff, and we chose the ones that really were the best impactful songs from the new album, Evolution, for a shorter set. Because energetically, you don't want to fill your set with ballads or stuff, you know what I mean?
Right.
And we did put Light Me Up in, and it works because we don't really have so many breaths of air in our set because it's so short. So the other songs that we chose were from the 2 recent albums, Prevail 1 and 2. So we have 4, 5, 6, and those ones are the popular ones for people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess people, a little bit somewhat more familiar, or maybe weren't there from way in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think people know us mostly from High Priestess on or Prevail on.
Yeah. So being on tour for 11 years, you get to do a lot. You've seen a lot. You've toured quite a few places and with huge bands. For yourself, what do you feel like you've learned tour, being on tour? That's kind of benefited you or kind of keep you going?
I mean, I think being on tour has absolutely taught me ways to manage my emotional state. Because we are still our own crew and we're grinding it out. It's been a really, this is a very humbling path. Especially when you're not moving forward like super quickly. Sometimes you don't even know if you're moving forward anymore. You feel like you're just in space floating. And there's no like set achievements, sometimes to see like, oh yeah, we like moved up, forward. So I would say, yeah, it's like managing my emotional state, which has been incredibly helpful. Like I have learned not to freak out when something very bad happens and manage that better.
Yeah.
As well, I live in a world of just boys all the time, and as I've gotten older, like I've found it really tough actually to not have my personal space at all. But it's definitely shaped who I am, just how I handle myself, how I deal with things, what I see. I've seen a lot of my own patterns. Like I've gone to a lot of different self-development things, and I always have someone that is holding me accountable also to what is hard in my life or what I perceive as hard or challenging in the band, so that I can keep looking at my own bullshit too. So I think it's the best way I can describe it is like it's been incredibly humbling. I've learned a lot of life tools because I've had to deal with navigating with this thing, and I am the navigator. It's no one else in the band that's at the head, like, so I have learned a lot of tools by proximity of meeting it. And also people, we work with people all the time, and I want them to know that I see them and that I feel so grateful to be with them. And I think I can say this knowing I'm not the only introverted artist out there. Several people are introverted. Yeah. And a lot of front people are very introverted actually.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. And I am incredibly introverted, actually, and I had to learn how to be around people and how to not let that take from me, but rather like be a really great thing, like it really, like, it's been, I've learned a lot because I had to learn how to be. Yes. Yeah.
But I think also as an artist, it almost goes hand in hand of being an artist and being somewhat of an introvert. All great artists have
That's
been
true.
like that. I mean, there's rarely any that it's like a fabulous artist, regardless of what career choice, whether it's painting, music, or whatever, to say that like a people person.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can't, you're right, like I can't think of off the top of my head, even the creative types in our band, like it's, they're mostly introverted. And no, it's true. It's been good though. I think it's good to be pushed that way and stretched. I think it just gives you like more opportunity to hopefully be a better person, hopefully have more tools to also just operate in the world in a more functional way. Yeah.
By the hard way sometimes.
No, for sure. Like we're not perfect. No one is.
No,
but it's a work in progress. You know.
That's all we got to do is keep going forward.
Absolutely.
And still kind of speaking about tours of the numerous bands that you've toured with. Is there anybody that you are dying to tour with, and hopefully it'll happen?
You know what? I thought like we would always fit with Judas Priest really well.
I would hope so, because your vocal styles is a little bit like Rob Halford.
which is like not intentional. It's just because I was doing metal, and my range and my vibrato is that way. But I always thought that would just be great and iconic, and and there would be something for everyone. With this new flavor, I'm not so sure. I don't know what what would be good. But I don't know. I think it would be really awesome to also tour with another woman like Lizzie,
Oh, okay, yeah, she's live. I've seen them live, and I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
She can sing, perform, play guitar. Yeah, very talented. Yes.
Very, very much so. Yeah.
So hopefully, if anybody's watching, try to make that happen for Kobra and the Lotus. We got to make this happen.
So good. I know her actually. She's an acquaintance of mine, and we've written together. But there's so many more complexities to how tours come together.
Yeah,
so I just
gotta be available.
I wish it was that way. We always get requests, you guys should tour with blah, and you guys should tour with blah. And it's it would be great, but that's not how it works.
Yeah, the logistics behind the scenes is everything has to line up perfectly, the moon, stars, and everything.
Absolutely, yeah.
For sure. So if you weren't the musician and you're in an alternate universe, alternate planet, what would you be doing?
I would definitely be a pediatric doctor of some kind. Yeah, for
awesome.
sure. Probably specializing a little more in maybe cancer, like oncology or something.
Yeah.
But I would have loved to do that, but that's definitely another lifetime because the amount of school you need and commitment, and I want a family, so I'm not going there.
That's at least about 14 to 20 years of your life.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And to become a great doctor too, you need to never stop learning, and it's just no, it's not happening in this. So yeah, in my other dimension, that's what I'm doing.
Well, maybe you are a future.
Yeah, maybe. That'd be great.
Yeah, for sure. So, come to our last question. Anything else that you would like to promote? Let fans know what else is coming up. Anything that you can sneak peek? Not revealing anything that's not
it's okay.
undercover, but anything else?
For this project, no. It's just check out the new record. It came out on September 20th. It's called Evolution.
Yes.
Very easy to remember. Evolution. And check it out because you might surprise yourself. You may enjoy something a lot, and you might also find something that resonates with you, message-wise, and just I think there's something that could amp you up on there. So check it out. And as always, I always say my little pitch about using legitimate streaming platforms.
Yes, please.
Yes, it really affects artists more than artists talk about, and sales are not really a thing, with CDs. It's not really happening so much anymore. We don't even expect people to really buy the albums as much anymore, but what I do have an expectation of is that people can use something legitimate to stream their music from. You don't even have to pay anything to listen to YouTube.
Right.
So use that, use anything, Deezer, Google Play, Amazon, iTunes, Spotify, there's so many now, SoundCloud. And
there's no excuse not to be able to
Spotify.
access those things.
There really isn't, and those numbers are what promoters look at to book shows, to decide if we're going to be part of a tour, to be part of a show. A lot of things actually ride on those numbers, so it's an easy way to support people that you really enjoy. So
and buy merch.
Buy merch.
So if you know the show's coming up, you can say, instead of buying that fast food meal that probably is not any good for you anyway, save those $10, $20 and come to the merch table.
Yeah,
that's my thought.
Buy the record.
Buy the record. Buy the album. Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's about it. But otherwise, just thank you so much for supporting live music, and we hope to see you at a show. We have 5 left. I don't know when this is going to be posted, but we have 5 left.
As soon as possible.
Okay.
As soon as I can get to it.
We're heading to Florida, so this will be the end of 2019 for Kobra and the Lotus.
Okay.
So
Get a nice break.
Yep.
Very good.
I'm actually going to Israel after this tour to record for a video game.
Really?
Yeah,
cool.
It's wild.
Wow.
They picked me for the female character, and it's just
perfect.
I don't know. I'm so excited about it.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's great. Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.